What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Summit 8 SA Qualifiers. Elite Wolves taking on Sacred to determine who's going to be moving on to face up against SG in the next phase. I'm Mike Loris, can be joined by MRP Dota for the second game. Sacred pick up the Lich, and Elite Wolves in game one, well, they got dismantled.
Yeah. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay.
right from the draft screen, Sacred looked kind of one step ahead. They open with a Lich here, though, so I got to root against them in this game, too. I don't know about you.
I have no strong feelings one way or the other. Elite Wolves they've busted out some pretty interesting tactics in this first match that we saw them. So Lich is a hero that, yeah, he does have a lot of mixed utility. It is still more so focused on those lanes, and if you are going to do something cute, you can kind of just get around that issue. Not sure what that's going to be, and it seems like Elite Wolves don't either, because they're kind of using a lot of time here.
Mm-hmm. His impact on kind of experience loss was mitigated a bit as they kind of changed the values of the range creep relative to the melee creeps. Still, of course, is going to be a bit of a nuisance in lane and always going to sap some experience away from the opponent. And does offer a lot of utility as far as, you know, defensive with the structures and some team fight with the chain for us. Don't know if he's quite worth a first phase pick, but, you know, a lot of the teams are kind of sticking with these agnostic sort of picks that don't reveal all that much. This is an interesting opening from Elite Wolves. Bounty Hunter Doom. So Doom, not a hero we see all that much. Definitely a hero that seemed a little bit more viable with the talent changes coming out of 7.07 in that off lane. So we'll see how he fares in this one.
It is usually going to be seen picked up, if you are going to pick up a Doom, either pick it up much later when you scope out the field a little bit, or you pick him up 1-2 with a Lich, in which case you have the ice armor on a very tanky hero already, making it even more tanky. You get the regeneration. Usually it's all aces. Going with the Bounty Hunter, though, is an interesting way to go. You can't really consistently apply that snow pressure as a Doom. Scorched Earth has quite a long cooldown. Doom, the ultimate, obviously has a huge cooldown. So these two together don't really have the most synergy here for Elite Wolves. But whenever you pick up a Bounty Hunter, if you opt to pick that hero in particular above other 4-position heroes, then it does scream, hey, we want to tempo out this game. We want to start snowballing. So a hero like Lich is a really good hero at getting around that. Elite Wolves now getting an IO, pulling out some serious shenaniganry in this game. As Sacred, they'll pick up the Troll with the Lich, now going for a Magnus. Just going to stack up a ton of buffs and let the Troll Warlord get to work.
Yeah, not only that, just a great pick up against the IO. Has a good amount of nuke damage, can spam that out reliably, and any two heroes in close proximity are going to be vulnerable to that reverse polarity. Also, just nice to see, you know, the mental kind of aspect often overlooked here of drafting, where you pick a hero, you're like, we got this good strat. You know, Doom has a lot of magic damage. He doesn't necessarily need to right-click through the ice armor. He's got the Infernal Blade, the Scorched Earth, with the extra DPS at level 10. He can run at the Lich, especially with some tether move speed, and then it's just the instant reaction pick from Sacred. So kind of makes Elite Wolves maybe back off a little bit as far as their confidence. But yeah, as you mentioned, also great synergy between Magnus and Troll. We saw the Troll last game kind of get stifled despite having a great early game, but maybe more you can attribute that more to the fact that the rest of his lineup was just absolutely dumped on. This is an interesting pick, though. I said that, you know, I would root against the Lich team, but now we have a IO Huskar on the other side, so now I'm really torn between which team I hate.
Were you looking at the time? There's no reserve time.
Yeah.
On Elite. Well, is this actually a pick? Did that actually happen? I was kind of looking at it. But I mean, regardless of what actually happened, there's a Huskar in this game now. Sacred are with a Troll Warlord already, and you really don't want to be playing Huskar versus a Troll Warlord. You will not win that battle because you're going to be missing a lot of your attacks. You're going to get bashed, and you really don't have much working for yourself at that point. So this is probably going to catch Sacred a little bit off guard because it doesn't seem like a great pick. I'll pick a bad hero and get them with the element of surprise. Not exactly advisable, so I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of this for Elite Wolves. Is a hero that works okay with the Bounty Hunter, just getting all those extra kills, getting all that extra track gold, but IO doesn't work that great with Bounty Hunter. Huskar is only okay. seems like Bounty Hunter is kind of just the odd guy out at this point. And as far as heroes to save Huskar, Io is okay, but is no Oracle, is no Dazzle. There's really just no comparison there. So I do feel like this Huskar, especially being picked up 4th, is something that Sacred can kind of over-answer and make sure this Huskar doesn't ever get off the ground.
Yeah, so right now I'm looking for Leo-style kind of self-sufficient mid laners. Razor stands out to me as a good one that can both kind of deal with the Io plus Huskar.
How about Viper? You break
there
the magic resistance off him, man.
Perhaps even better in this scenario. Queen of Pain's there as well for kind of a little bit more stable one. Deals with the Io nicely, tons of burst damage. But I'm thinking they're just going to kind of leave Leo-style alone, maybe give the Lich over to King Tekka in the offlane a bit to kind of get the Magnus his levels. At levels, it feels like are really all he needs, at least early on in this one. Of course, the Blink Dagger always nice to have, but just if he gets those levels out of the laning stage, should bode well for them. Just give the Empower over to the Troll, really feed him. So we'll see what they end up picking. They'll pick up the Monkey King here, so this is a very interesting pick. We'll see if he ends up being a core or not. Can trade decently with the Huskar because of Jingu. Most heroes not really able to trade with the Huskar early on, and of course Wukong's command going to be very nice against Io. He's decent at kind of shadowing the Bounty Hunter's movements as well, but overall very interesting pick. You talked about the Troll, heavy physical damage against the Huskar. Monkey King going to provide that in some respects as well, and even if he comes out of the 4 position in this game, Empower is going to allow him to scale a little bit better than usual.
Also, you have that Lich Ice armor, helping to alleviate some of the problems with Monkey King, just being the fact that he is very easily bursted down, is a fragile hero, and usually is resistant to physical attacks, mostly, especially with that circle of monkeys on the ground, but still even more durability, not going to say no to that. Having both the Monkey King and Troll Warlord who can challenge a Huskar to a man fight and, perhaps not always beat him necessarily, but at least put a severe dent into the Huskar's life pool, is going to mean that Sacred have now quite a few varied threats. Shaker will be banned out, as will the Weaver. Elite Wolves definitely do need a little bit of damage here. You can't lean on the Huskar to do absolutely everything, especially not when you're going up against a BKB piercing disable in the Magnus, and I guess the Troll Warlord bash as well. That's not fun either. But Sacred, I would assume, going to be looking for another support hero. I mean, you do Monkey King. No, that is what is this? Is this a 4-position Slardar Lich with maybe a dual lane setup with the Monkey King?
All I know is Slardar moves at gazillion move speed in the river. That's really cool.
You get minus armor versus the Huskar.
Yeah, exactly. Damage, exactly. So I definitely think the Monkey King is the core of the Slardar and the MK, but I've been wrong before. Slardar is just really cool to kind of do as our friend Franzi calls it, the bounty rune relay with the sprint. He can, now that the bounty runes are actually even closer to the river, it's even easier for him to pick those up. It is Matthew to pick up the Slardar, so it looks like he will play the forward position. But really cool pick up there. Similar in vein to the RP, the Slithering Crush, pretty big AoE. 2 heroes in close proximity with the IO can often do some damage there. You mentioned that the amp damage against the Huskar, obviously very nice to have. Maybe even better against the Doom, who is, I believe, 0 armor at the beginning of the game. A lot of base HP, but very low armor, so they can punish him heavily in this one as well.
It's going to be a safe, if they are going to be sticking to these heroes, safe Monkey King, a offlane Mag, and a Leo style going towards the mid lane to face up against that Quap. The magic damage certainly is a concern, but Troll Warlord up against a roaming Bounty Hunter, you can definitely survive that. Bounty Hunter is mostly going to be physical damage early on, having so much extra armor thanks to that melee form is, not to mention the blind, is quite useful if these lanes are going to be what they would seem like they're going to be at this point in the game. But yeah, the Queen of Pain being run back here by the Elite Wolves side, it didn't really do anything in the last game, not anything substantial at least. So I'm kind of concerned about them just running that one back. He's going to have a much easier lane going up against a Troll as compared to going up against Alina, but it does feel like Leo style is perhaps just a notch above whoever this stand-in is.
You
And he
did
got
it
no
to him.
name.
How'd you do him
What?
like that, man? You should have called him Four Spaces or something.
Yeah, that's a
Either
great
way,
name.
it definitely, the first game was indicative of that skill difference. Let's just put it bluntly. Leo style, we've seen him on his comfort heroes like Puck, and he absolutely balls. So to see him on, not an odd mid lane hero in the Lena, but a switch up for him, at least from what we've seen recently, and him just have a field day mid lane in a true 1v1 certainly bodes well for Sacred's ability to kind of leave him by his lonesome and trust that he's going to come out of the lane with what he wants as far as farming levels. But yeah, and we'll see how the roaming goes for Matthew and potentially for Benjaz as well. They put him in the safe lane for now, so he will be doing a bit of farming on the MK.
Yes, it is Bounty Hunter just scouting it out. They should be able to muscle their way into the dire safe lane rune and just skip across the river, get 2 runes each for each side, pretty standard stuff there. Don't expect there to be any real shenanigans here. Boots first on Huskar is not too out of the ordinary, and the IO should be guaranteed at least one of these runes as well, although there's still 10 seconds left until the Radiant get their rune spawn. They're not making any moves across the river just yet. If Benjaz was feeling up to the task, he could just grab it, and they could just 3-1 here. They will do exactly that. So, GG.
All right, GG. 3 bounty runes.
Can't recover from that, man.
Yeah,
Leo style even teleports to get enough of a block in. And, yeah, I mean, they'll all walk back in. IO Huskar. I'm not really sure if that's a really dangerous lane since they don't have a bottle.
Yeah, they do have the blind as well. You touched upon that kind of dynamic early on. Huskar does a lot of damage when he lands his hits.
Yeah, it's Leo style Magnus.
Mm. So, 1v1 top, Benjaz and Monkey King versus kind of any melee hero is always going to be a nice matchup. Having the Lich in the mid lane, certainly, on paper, Leo style Mag versus the Queen of Pain going to be slightly disadvantageous. But we saw how well he fared last game, and having the Lich's presence early on should help him out in that front. We will see PRD making his way down towards the bottom lane with that Orb of Venom loaded out. See if he can get anything done against Matthew and King Tekka. But should be a tall order to fill here. Now they're going to get the range whirling axes off onto Wu. Couple of right clicks coming through. They won't dive the tower though. It's taking a lot of damage from the Huskar. Speaking of which, though, the Huskar perhaps in trouble. Now they're waiting. Oh my goodness. I almost lost my words. The axe is hitting onto 18 HP for the IO. He survives. But Vato Loco and or King Tech are going to have to back off and regen here for a bit.
He's got some extra backup here from a Lich. That EXP swing up against just a dual lane of an IO is quite costly. And the Bounty Hunter sitting in this area as well is going to get hit extra hard by that lack of extra experience. And while all that is happening, Leo style is going to take quite a bit of chip damage here from the Queen of Pain. That's pretty much unavoidable. Is dropping scary low, though. Leo style's got to be careful, but we have a little bit of a boring lane going up towards top as they go in one more time for a tune. This time, again, not quite good enough. Matthew lands a crush only onto 1. Lots of damage being traded back and forth, but I don't think anyone is really going to be dying here. At least not yet. But top lane, Monkey King should have an absolute free roll. The way Doom handles his opponents is just by out-sustaining them and out-damage over-timing them. And Monkey King cannot be beaten in either of those things. So Benjaz has this lane unlocked.
Yeah, you can't trade with the Monkey King despite being, as beefy as the Doom is early on. He pretty much wins every, 1v1 melee matchup. So on paper, Benjaz should do well, and he has been kind of for the last couple of days for his squad. He's definitely someone they can lean on, much like Leo style. Leo style still doing admirably mid lane. He's got the 11 CS to the 12 of the Queen of Pain. She'll get a couple here, or would have done a couple of the under tower to propel herself ahead, but still, Leo Styles should be pretty happy, and as should his squad, with how the early game's going. Top lane PRD, maybe trying to look to make something happen on Benjaz here. He's got 7 tangos and a salve, so if he survives, he'll be fine to just continue on laning. Picks himself up an Orb of Venom of his own, looking to trade even more effectively. And now PRD going to be out of mana, so they're going to jump forward. Orb of Venom is there. He gets the Thunderclap off as well, and it will not be enough to Boundless Strike to keep him alive. First blood can be drawn here by Elite Wolves.
fragility of the Monkey King certainly showing off on that top lane. Bounty Hunter doesn't have an abundance of damage, but sometimes all you need is a crit slow. Get, as you said, that Hellbear Clap to come in with just like 150 damage, something like that. It really does a high amount of damage from a neutral ability. So Monkey King just kind of getting torn apart there. Speaking of getting torn apart, Attune's not looking too hot on this bottom lane. There is no bottle charges left on the IO. He's trying to get him out with the tether movement speed. It's going to be close. Matthew with the sprint is going to have just enough to not only kill off Attune, but also crush the IO, giving them a double kill on this bottom lane, one apiece. And this Huskar, if he doesn't get off to a good start, we already mentioned how bad some of these matchups are for him in the mid game. Being underfarmed means that he's just not going to be a relevant factor. So he's got to make sure to avoid these deaths at all costs.
Yeah, Matthew also grabs both bounty runes, of course, as Slardars do nowadays. And a little bit of style points as the end. He gets the crush off and gives the last hit to his Troll Warlord, forcing out the Quap Blink as well mid lane. So they'll give King Tekka a little bit of space. He is going to get pinged out, though, knowing now that they've seen the Slardar and the Lich mid. And they are going to wrap on him again with PRD. Need to get in range on the Doom, but he doesn't have that extra nuke or disable from the creep sitting on the Cloak Aura, which is unfortunate. Looks like he ate one of the small creeps. So not really any certain kill potential, and it looks like a little bit of a lane swap here as an improvisation from Elite Wolves.
Huskar is going to have a grand old time up against Monkey King. As far as dots are concerned, Huskar does it a little bit more aggressively than that Doom. Stack him up in Benjaz, and Benjaz is going to be feeling that fire for sure. Tekka on the bottom lane actually has a Morbid Mask queued up. I thought, you know, Phase Boots almost for sure is the first item, but either way, is going to be in a little bit of trouble. Speaking of trouble, up towards top lane, Attune. This time, IO should have some extra bottle charges, and he does, with the Fairy Fire there as well, but Boundless Strike doesn't care. That did a lot of damage. That was a lot of damage, and Huskar is not able to resist that type of physical burst. Another kill on this Huskar, and that desperation move of swapping lanes clearly didn't work out for them. Tekka, though, on the bottom lane. Whirling Axe's melee, going to give them a little bit of mischance. Tekka racing for Shechid. Not quite gonna do it, as they will slow roast the troll on the bottom
though,
lane.
top lane, yeah, he's gonna be taken out. They get the IO again, and nice little deviation from the general build here from Benjaz. Even with safe lane Monkey Kings, we often see them max out the tree dance because it gives you the ability to farm with the Primal Spring. But he goes for the 2 points in Boundless Strike here, and I don't know that either of us expected that much damage from the Boundless Strike that finished off the Huskar there. Quap going to blink forward aggressively as Matthew is going to take her rune from under her nose, and he will have to crush to get himself out. Shrine was used recently by Leo Style, and that'll force Matthew back to base. But all in all, early game looks fairly even, though the kills certainly go in the way of Sacred.
Tekka is once again going to be aggressed upon. He's going to whirl some axes out there. That mischance again going to be a really big thorn inside of these heroes. Tomoki is going to pick up Phase Boots. Thinks about diving in. Sees the Lich actually commit his full TP and is going to back off in the end. And because they don't get this kill on the Troll Warlord, this build actually going to be pretty sweet for Tekka. Just being able to slowly but surely regenerate thanks to this extra lifesteal. It's not elegant, it's not fast, but if you don't get the kill on the Troll Warlord, it's going to be quite a long time before you can go for it again. Again, Scorched Earth cooldown is so long, and you can't get the kill without it, that's for sure. So this is just Tekka going for a very sustained, kind of tanky build on this Troll Warlord. Phase Boots will be picked up after, and I'm not really sure if they can punish him, at least not right now. He has Ice Armor. They're going to once again bring the Bounty Hunter in, but this time Masoku is here. He does have a Bounty Rune, and Matthew is here as well. And he will get the Doom onto the Troll Warlord, but he doesn't care. He's going to just keep throwing his axes, but a nice stomp will get the Bounty Hunter a little bit more distance. The Troll Warlord will be taken down as Matthew looks for another crush, will land it with the dust, gets the kill, but in tower range will for sure fall. Masoku's offensive power not nearly enough here, and they will all back out of there, but that Doom, first cast onto the Troll Warlord, looks like that was just good enough.
Yep, much needed positive exchange there for the Radiant side. Still, though, their Huskar is, relegated to the jungle at this point in the game, sub 8 minutes. He's level 5. And up against a Lich lineup who, prior to that last little engagement, if you look at the experience graph, was just steadily gaining in the favor of Sacred. So really kind of monumental exchange there for Elite Wolves to keep them in this early game. Range Whirling Axes will connect onto Wu here, and he will tether down to the south where his Huskar resides. Slardar gonna once again snag up their bounty rune. He does have the Tranquils as well, so he's moving real quick.
Top lane 2v1. Benjaz does already use his stick. Stun up Tomoki. Not enough damage this time. Benjaz is actually just going to be able to jump out, although chop, there's actually no chop on the Bounty Hunter, nor on the Doom, so they just can never touch him ever.
Wow.
Thank you, Ice Frog. He's going to get himself out of that one. Still has this Jingu at half-timer. If someone comes in here, he may be able to make a play on Tomoki, but it doesn't seem like anyone's really interested in helping out Benjaz. They're just interested in going down towards this bottom lane where Tekka's just laying into this tower. Battle Trance was already used. This tower is pretty much just abandoned by the
wow, Tomoki
side.
top lane. He hits him with the Boundless Strike from the tree, gets the spring off as well. Luckily for Tomoki, he had that Centaur War Stomp available, else he would have gone down. The residual duration of the Jingu Mastery was there for Benjaz, so he was dealing a lot of damage. Meanwhile, though, as you mentioned, bottom lane pushing in with the Arse Armor. King Tekka pretty much free to do this, and they will take out this tier 1 shortly. So Benjaz, I mean, you got to think a player of his caliber probably clicked on the Doom, making sure he didn't have a Quelling Blade there. But yeah, definitely seemed like a really risky jump up to the trees. But he survives nonetheless. And the tower taken down bottom.
Going for that Desolator. Anti-Huskar tech coming out of this Monkey King. And Huskar, speaking of, 9 minutes in, still does not even have his armlet. As Huskar, you usually see it just straight rushed, like sometimes ignoring boots. Just armlet, it's such an important item for the hero, and it is very, very late at this stage in the game. He's pretty much a non-factor. Doom has been doing some pretty heavy lifting, so Tomoki has been doing his job at least as much as he can. Bounty Hunter is level 5 at this point. If he can steal any sort of experience away from the opposition, that can be huge, but oh, Huskar versus Matthew. The crush is going to land, a couple more right clicks. The IO is going to come in. It means that Huskar is going to have the advantage, and Slaughter just got to bail. Into the trees is not necessarily safe. They also pick off Masoku elsewhere. Matthew will drop to the spirits of the IO. And Shechid actually is going to get the kill on the Lich and back off. Looks like Queen of Pain may have helped out a little bit there, but either way, that's a 2 kill for none in favor of Elite Wolves.
Really nice for them to grab. And they are kind of catching up in both experience and gold. So bringing it near equilibrium. And whenever you have a Lich on your team, if that's the case, you know, at kind of the end of the laning stage, you are a bit concerned. Jump forward top lane. They're going to find the crush off onto Tomoki. Nicely timed stomp, though, from the Doom. Whether, you know, by luck or by design, does keep back both Dire heroes from pressing forward. Spirits should catch Benjaz. No, they don't actually. They're dragged back in by Wu here. And that'll be all she wrote for the top lane engagement. All right, sitting on 4 HP, Attune.
He's fine.
All is well.
Yeah.
In Huskar land.
I mean, he's got the armlet, so he should never die in the jungle. Knock on wood. Tekka, in the meantime, does not have an armlet. Mask of Madness, with the Empower helping him cleave through these creeps quite rapidly. Ice armor there as well. But he is certainly vulnerable if anyone was to go down there. Looks like, though, for the Elite Wolves side, they have their eyes set more so on the top side of the map. Doom does have his ultimate at the ready. Slaughter does not have Haze up just yet. And Lich also not at that level 6 mark. So there's really not much defense here for the Monkey, especially when he does already get doomed. Tracked up as well. Matthew's going to slow down the Doom, try to get this Monkey King out of there. The Queen of Pain, though, is going to give chase with the Scream and the Dagger. No one's teleporting into this tier 2. Monkey King is looking to fall right now. Some extra cash for the Radiant side as Leo Style is going to Shockwave on nobody. Matthew is going to still be in a little bit of trouble. Gets tracked up himself as well. And now, well, Tekka is going to arrive and just claw down the Queen of Pain. Matthew will give another track kill, though, over towards the Elite Wolves side. And Tomoki still pushing forward with the help of the IO. Looking for Tekka. Chain Frost, though, is going to be cast. Will not chain a single time. Tomoki will just stomp the troll into the ground. And this Magnus and Lich, they're just looking on helpless. Although, well, Wu's going to try to relocate out. Will yank the Doom out as well. Should be fine to get the Doom out of there. Are they going to return with the Doom?
No
Doesn't
tether.
seem like they can. Yeah, they will just fall back. Everyone else from Sacred,
Oh, there we go.
just waiting for this Magnus to actually get some power up. They do bring the Doom back on the map, actually, as Matthew is giving chase versus Shechid. The Haze is there, and well, the Boundless Strike can do quite a bit of damage. Not quite lethal, just needs one more tap, I think, with the stick charges. That will no longer do it. Benjaz doesn't jump out of this area either. Can't Primal Spring. Now with the Infernal Blade on him, he's going to die for a second time. Oh, Benjaz, that is not ideal. This is going to give so much extra track gold to the Radiant side, not to mention just having a kill lead. So far, this Magnus has done nothing. The Monkey King has laned well, but also has done nothing.
He literally just skilled RP at level 10 right now. So they really went heavy into, he went 4-3-1. So he went heavily into, you know, nuke and farming ability and trying to help his troll scale. But unfortunately, once they got into the team fights, just didn't prove all that useful. It was surprising that they were even able to kill off the Queen of Pain as a tandem. They did get a bash, if I recall correctly, for King Tekka there. So fortunate to get that kill, but Doom confirmed good hero, I suppose, allows his Attune Huskar to completely AFK farm that entire time as they take positive engagements. And now Huskar, overall, all of a sudden, third on the net worth.
It's still pushing a mid-late game. Huskar is never really where you want to be, but as you said, the Doom doing it quite a bit for his team. Not to mention the Bounty Hunter. Track up is going to be getting him some pretty serious benefits, though they do land an RP and a crush. The Bounty Strike misses, but doesn't matter. They still get the kill. And also, Huskar dies. I think I may have killed him. But either way, it's still going to be 2 heroes down. Queen of Pain, the proper kill here from the Sacred side. I mean, despite how poorly that last fight went, just looking at the net worth of these Dire heroes, at least the Dire cores that matter, Troll Warlord on top, Magnus is third, Monkey King is fourth. They're still doing just fine for themselves.
Yeah, that neutral creep death is going to prove costly, it feels, for the Huskar. Maybe he expected a tether. The Wisp was nearby, and he spammed well played after. But maybe just satirically kind of making fun of himself. Not exactly sure. Masoku being stalked here. There is a Radiant Observer Ward in the area as well, but no support immediately inbound for the Bounty Hunter. They will get themselves some information as Queen of Pain insight in the mid lane. Matthew about halfway to his Blink Dagger at this point, so it doesn't pose any real threat to the quad. Doom, though, is going to run into a sentry, get crushed up. They'll even expend the Chain Frost. He's a big kill at this point with all that he's been involved in. And now even the Wisp going to be taken out on the back end. That is King Tekka to grab that kill. It is a 4 times kill streak taken out. Masoku, the one, perhaps unfortunately, on the Lich, the one to pick up the last hit. But regardless, a nice couple of picks there for Sacred side. It's 1,400 experience and a 1,300 gold net swing in their favor just off those 2 kills.
You mentioned the fact they also are able to deny this mid lane tower away from that Quap. I guess that mostly hits this Huskar. Still looking to build up these couple of items. Can definitely use that AoE tower gold, but ends up getting it cut down from him. So it is going to be Sacred now. After that kind of freebie of the Doom, with the Skewer at the ready for the Magnus, RP is cooling down, and he does have the Blink Dagger. Now, that was shown off in the mid lane, so it's not a secret anymore. But for Sacred, just Blink RP, Blink Skewer, into the clutches of a Troll Warlord at this point with Mask of Madness, Sange and Yasha, and of course Cleave. If you get caught by that, you are so dead. Maybe the IO can evac someone.
Speaking of caught,
for the first part, it's going to be Queen of Pain RP'd. That wasn't as spectacular as I was perhaps expecting, but still, it's a really great kill for the Sacred side to find.
Cool play. Queen of Pain on the low ground. Matthew was on the high ground and crushed her. And then Leo Style able to blink in and finish her with the RP. So probably didn't see the Slardar coming, but unfortunately ends up dropping there. This is going to open up Roshan despite being tracked. King Tekka going to make his way over there. He'll wait for Leo Style to join up with him. Maybe just play it safe and farm up, as they don't have any sentries in the area. In fact, the Radiant the ones to control the vision game around the pit.
Shadowblade on Doom. He does have his ultimate once again at the ready. There is IO as backup, but I think at this point, trying to 4v5 the Sacred side, it's not really going to fly any longer, especially since this Mag has that Blink Dagger. He can much more easily get in and actually help his allies, not to mention the fact that Matthew is almost at that point as well. So it is probably going to be soon time for the Huskar to make his appearance. He will have a Heaven's Halberd and an Armlet by the time he arrives. Not a bad kit, especially that Halberd up against that Troll Warlord. That disarm is going to be huge. Ooh, that dust was a little bit off for the Bounty Hunter, so he's fine, but they also do see the Doom, so I'm not really sure if they can make a fight happen here. Benjaz up in the trees is currently pretty well hidden. Leo Style's a Blink Skewer, but he's got to skewer into a Slaughter Crush. That's not easy to do. Need your right angles there. Everyone will fall back. Still, this Slardar is getting fight ready with this Blink Dagger soon to be up. Benjaz has his Desolator.
Yeah.
The Toon, though, he's Roshing. And he's probably not going to die to this Rosh, right?
Well, yeah, looks like he will be able to grab it up. So finally contributing to his team's cause in this one. And he'll be the one to grab the Aegis. So a nice little pickup for him there. his team well aware of the positioning of the enemy. So very safe attempt from the Huskar, and a much needed one at that. Did pick up the Desolator on Benjaz, as you mentioned, but yeah, just looking to eclipse the level 13 mark, and it hasn't been involved all that much with the 3 deaths to his name. Feels like maybe a little bit behind where you'd want him to be, considering his lane overall, but they have the RP at the ready, smoke on their person as well. S and Y completed up, soon to be a Manta for King Tekka. Maybe they look to fight.
Well, the bounty hunter has gotten a couple track kills as soon as he did pick up that level. Level 8 at this point, still hunting for more with this Aegis on Huskar. There's no better time than now to go for a play, especially if you're able to get the Doom off onto Tekka, Infernal Blade, and Doom and track. He is very, very quick, but I don't think he's going to be quick enough. He's going to turn around, try to right-click into Tomoki, but for sure he's going to go down here. TP is going to be canceled, the right decision for sure. As Elite Wolves will get their free pick, should get their free tower. It is going to be the Doom offline for a very long portion of this game, though. 40 seconds left until the Troll Warlord is back, and still for Sacred with the RP at the ready. Can, if they really need to, put a fight together. Just 30 seconds is all they need. RP Chain Frost can win you a team fight. You really don't need anything else, so Atoon's got to be careful. Are they going to jump in for the skewer? Yes. Oh, he stuns the Monkey King! Wow. No, Leo style, why? Okay, well, maybe it was a bait because they do land a 2-man crush. Chain Frost is now out, but it's going to be very quickly taken away. That was not the Blink Skewer I was talking about.
Oh man, that is a major detriment, and it's going to mean their tier 2 tower here. I was going to, agree with you wholeheartedly. They had the Blink Crush as well as the Blink RP available, so 2 major team fight tools available to their squad here at a good timing, no less, and just unfortunate bit of luck for Leo Style there, or maybe for Benjaz, whichever way you look at it, and stunning his ally cost them pretty dearly as they lose both the Troll and the Monkey King, and the Aegis still in the hands of Atoon's Huskar. Now the Troll Warlord again being aggressive upon bottom lane. They're going to track him up. Haste Rune was on the Queen of Pain, but she didn't really have anything to slow him down. He makes it back with the phase S and Y. He's moving pretty quickly as well.
You do want to, as much as you can, just slow siege with this Huskar. His durability, the fact that he has that backup and the extra life is great, but I'm going to jump in onto Matthew. Masoku is here as well. Lich can't really do much to help out the Slaughter. In fact, he's going to get roasted down. In the meantime, Skewer from Leo Style is going to do, again, nothing. Benyaz is going to land a 2-man stun, but it doesn't do anything. He's already dead. Now here comes Tekka, just trying to do everything by himself, and then gets disarmed, so he has to run. What the hell are Sacred doing? They're just chain feeding in.
This is one of those tutorial videos that you show when you want to explain the concept of chain feed. Oh man,
how often does this happen to you?
That was subpar play from Sacred's side, and after doing everything they needed to do in the early game to shut down this Huskar, he looks like quite a problem for the Sacred side. They've got 3 heroes on the sidelines, longest of which is going to be that Troll Warlord who has no buyback for 20 seconds. So this is going to be more than likely a lane of racks, or at least just a melee racks going down here for Sacred side.
Still a Blink RP here, though the IO is in such a spot that is rather immune to any RP shenanigans. They will ice armor the racks. It's a little bit late, though. They will finally land a skewer, bring Atoon a little bit closer in, try to right-click him down. They'll deploy the circle as well, but Atoon's actually going to jump out of it as he jumps in towards the Lich, and he's actually just not taking much damage from these monkeys at all. Just has his eyes on the prize. That is the melee racks in the mid lane. Is going to drop fairly low, but again, that's what the Aegis is for. Lich and Slaughter both down. Tekka cannot charge in. Leo Style has already used this Blink Skewer. Still the RP's available. No, they're going to just slide down to the bottom lane. Sacred, they can't really afford to do this any longer. They got to look for that RP. They got to make some sort of fight happen. It's going to be happening in about 3 seconds. In that time, they will definitely lose this tier 3 tower. Looking for the range racks now. Look at these RP angles. You can get 1 hero, 2 heroes now, as he will jump in with the skewers from the Troll Warlord. They'll swat down the Queen of Pain with the Jingu Bong. And now the Huskar as well. They'll dust up nothing. Jump in, crush onto the Huskar. He's still fairly durable. Still has the IO to yank him out, and he will just narrowly get away. The IO was dropping very low in that. They will save the bottom lane of racks. Most likely the IO is going to fall. Trying for the frame perfect. And he tries. Points are trying, of course, but he will end up going down. Sacred do lose mid melee racks. but that's all. They really, really need to step up their game from this point on.
Yeah, Sacred looking like a different team, as is Elite Wolves in this second game. I mean, they take a tough early game with their Huskar IO lane. They don't get flustered. The Huskar was severely underleveled. Tomoki as well as the Bounty Hunter creating tons of space. And now you have Phase Drums, Shadowblade, Blink on the Doom. So he can even further, jump himself at will into these engagements, serve as that frontline tank. And with 2k HP, he certainly has the capability to do so. Even the Queen of Pain, drawing even mid or even a slight lead against Leo style. Definitely a nice morale boost after game 1. Perhaps you could attribute that to putting Leo style on the Magnus versus the Queen of Pain. But either way, Sacred just not looking nearly as sharp as they did in the first game. And some good decisions, including that Roche steal or Roche sneak from the Radiant side in this one.
Warlord absolutely needs this Lincoln Sphere to be completed. He's able to block a Doom, that's great. Most likely it's going to be like a Shadow Strike or a Track, but for sure would like to get rid of that disarm effect on himself if he can with that Lincoln's. As the Dream, of course, just needs to be constantly right-clicking in, needs to be also farming, is behind the Huskar, Doom and Queen of Pain, nipping at his heels on the net worth chart as well. And the Monkey King, so far, we mentioned like 10 minutes ago, picked up a Desolator. Yeah. And has another hammer, at least, towards that BKB, but that's not really going to help him all that much. Benjaz just hasn't been able to survive long enough, nor have his allies been able to survive long enough to make any use of what this Monkey King can do over a little bit of a prolonged fight. So, Radiant side definitely feeling themselves in this one. Should probably just hit the brakes for right now, be happy with what they got, and look for the next Roshan. That will be the second one that will have a cheese. And for Sacred, that's really not something that they can deal with, I don't think. They will really struggle to kill off a Huskar if he has an Aegis and an IO with cheese behind him.
Yeah, Tomoki very farmed on the Doom, looking for kind of solo picks, and he's certainly very capable of killing off, the Lich, maybe even the Slardar, if you can get the Doom off before the sprint with his toolkit. So just kind of playing aggressively, staying off the map with that Shadow Blade. It's forcing Sacred to be, convened as a unit, and that Lincoln Sphere for King Tekka is going to mean that he's really only the only hero that can split push for Sacred side. So he's a very important part of their potential route back into this game.
Mid lane, everyone from Sacred is here. They will smoke up. The Elite Wolves are on the other end of the map. They will show themselves off as Attune is going to get to work on the Shrine. Actually, Tekka is going to show himself off in the mid lane as well. His backup, though, is here in spades. They may not expect this angle. It's going to be coming in from the back with Soku. Is going to be in a lot of trouble, as is Leo Style. He'll actually try to teleport out, and he will get away. Benjaz now going to try to teleport out. He will also get away. That worked out pretty darn well for Sacred, actually, except for the Lich, who is, really dead. But he's a Lich. He doesn't care.
Indeed. Not even an over-leveled Lich, which we're a little bit more accustomed to seeing. Actually, the lowest level in the game on that Lich. So, first phase hero, I don't know anymore. What do I know? I'm a scrub, but at the same time, that definitely hasn't panned out all that well in this one. Still, though, I mean, we know that the teamfight potential for Sacred is potent, to say the least, especially without an Aegis for Huskar. And we saw those last engagements taken, with Huskar feeling a rather large bit of hubris because of that extra life. And, without the Aegis, you'll see them be, as we do in the top lane right now, a little bit more tentative.
Will save their Shrine, albeit just barely. Shadowblade not quite lasting long enough for the Magnus to set up for a skewer play, bringing the Huskar in towards his allies. Even if he did, you probably don't kill off the Huskar, you probably end up killing the IO. They relocate out. IO was perfectly safe in that position. But Sacred are farming scared right now. They still can farm very quickly with this Empower, but they are getting antsy with this Shadowblade on the Magnus. They will push forward. Tomoki does have a BKB blink, very difficult to kill, plus there's a random courier following Leo Style, which may be, oh, they do land a skewer onto 2, and that is going to end up killing off the Queen of Pain. The IO does yank the Huskar out. Tomoki does ditch the Doom onto the Troll Warlord, and with the BKB on his own hero, he is going to make a break for it. With Monkey King on his tail, though, I'm not really sure if he can get away. He does get a blink out, and the IO is going to return and actually be just fine. From the backside, they will find the Bounty Hunter. He is hit with the Corrosive Haze. The IO, though, is going to be the target focus fresh from Tekka. Will take him down. Now, here comes the jump in. Chain Frost will do quite a bit of damage with the Jingabong as well. Attune's going to fight to the death, but he will also go down. That is the team fight from Sacred. Perhaps not exactly as it should be, but that is what power they can bring out with these heroes still. And that is going to be a huge win for Sacred. Of course, Lich goes down, but who cares?
Sacred want to play Dota again, it seems. This Observer Ward, MVP, up on the high ground as Leo Style, you know, you mentioned it was not the skewer bottom. That was the skewer and the RP mid lane. They have the Empower with the Troll Warlord, Battle Trance, Mask of Madness, Benjaz on top with the Boundless Strike. They get to absolute work on those two heroes. And Masoku with a nice piece of juking prolongs the fight out, forces the Huskar to converge on him. He gets taken down for a second time. So really nicely played overall from Sacred there. And they'll get themselves back in response. A lane of racks here. And Roche is ripe for the taking as the Radiant still respawning.
That is a fast Roche. That's Desolator, Corrosive Haze. Is it level 2 by now? It is. That's Aegis and Cheese. They make out like bandits. Who took the cheese? It's the Monkey King. Aegis goes on to Tekka. And, well, there was a 10k lead, right? It's now down to 1k. Now, this is still going to be a game where Elite Wolves, if they do get good initiation, doom someone before they actually get an RP off, wink wink nudge nudge, then yeah, they could certainly get a lot of work done. But if Leo Style is able to land RPs like that, or if Matthew's able to land crushes similar to what we just saw on that mid lane, that could be just a world of difference. Sacred just need to get their initiation off, and along those lines, this gem on the Slardar is going to help out so much, making sure that they are always hidden when they're moving around, also seeing at the bottom. Tekka's just going to pick a fight with the Huskar right now. Tekka's doing a lot of damage with this bashing onto the Huskar. They also go onto the Io, so they can't relocate out. He is going to be focused down. Io being driven away, and now it's on the Huskar with the cleave damage there. Attune is still alive somehow. Despite being wailed upon by like 1,000,000 heroes, Sonic Wave will come through, and Attune is still surviving. Here comes the ultimate from the Monkey King. Attune, though, is just refusing to go down. They do respawn with Tekka. Now back onto Attune. Gets Hurricane Pike back, and Troll Warlord just charging in. His backup, though, is pretty much non-existent. A couple of bashes, and a big hit from the Boundless Strike will end up getting the kill. The Queen of Pain does end up blinking out. TP out as well. They do see her, but they don't have anything to interrupt. They do take down the Huskar. They do take down the Io. It's a 4-for-2 trade in exchange for Sacred, and Tekka is able to make the damage happen with that Aegis. The cheese was probably used, and it was. That was not an elegant fight. They wasted a lot of time going for that Huskar, but it worked out well in the end.
So much value out of the halberd there, and yeah, definitely took a few more losses than they had hoped. Did Sacred in that fight, but they survived. They keep the gem. The Troll Warlord's still up, and he's their major player as far as structural damage goes, and he'll grab up that tier 2 tower to make it a little bit worse for wear. The shrine as well going to be a prize for Sacred side, so they're really taking a hold on this game. It's not terrible all in all for the Radiant side, as they do deny the Aegis, but still, you know, these heroes are going to continue to scale for Sacred side, whereas, you know, the Doom and the Huskar. Doom, a great hero to have late game, especially with farm, but it remains to be seen how much damage, he can output versus the opponent.
And that gem's still up on Matthew, so actually landing a Doom on a hero that matters is a lot more difficult, as you really do require the element of surprise. And speaking of, is going to jump in towards Matthew. Lands an Infernal Blade, lands a Purge, as he did eat one of those tiny satyrs. Another Infernal Blade is there. Looks like the gem will trade hands. I think I may have killed Matthew there, but they're still looking for more. Blindly blinking in. Leo Style does have enough mobility to get himself out of there, and they will all make the retreat. Save that Slardar. Now the lead only 1k in favor of the Radiant side. Pretty much a dead even in net worth game. But just looking at this spread of farm, we can see how important it is for Sacred to keep their attention on this Troll Warlord. With the Aegis, of course, you can kind of let him cut loose and he can do whatever the hell he wants. Without an Aegis, though, if he's going to be taken down, I'm not really sure if the rest of the Sacred heroes have enough to pick up the slack from not having that Troll Warlord. They absolutely need him to be doing the damage. They at the very least need him to be bashing the Huskar. Obviously no one else can do that, so yeah, he's gone for a very defensive build because of how important he is for the team, BKB and Lincoln's.
He's also going to go for Silver Edge here over, you know, potentially MKB, perhaps just, you know, the smaller costs that he thinks he can get to it a little bit more quickly. But, you know, just as important as this Troll Warlord is at this point, I think equally important is the Magnus. He is going to jump forward, relocate.
The right click on the RP. Is it going to be good enough for it to relocate?
It was on cooldown.
Okay, well, that explains a lot, actually. Io is going to be just dealt with by Matthew, although he is going to be able to tether up to the high ground. Monkey King's going to give chase, smack him down a couple times. Tomoki will take down the Shrine, but at what cost? We'll try to BKB, blink out. Oh, first hit bash? No hits at all, in fact. But Huskar is down for 50. Io's down for 40. They do have buyback on the Huskar, but man, Tekka just charging in Fearless is going to just run straight in towards the Doom. Look at the physical damage! Corrosive Haze is a real ability. Minus 20 armor. Seems good.
Yeah, sometimes you TP back to base. You don't expect a Troll Warlord barreling down your mid lane, still with vision of you. And they take up the Bounty Hunter on the back end as well. Matthew got a triple kill in that top fight, allowed him to get the Force Staff and the Gem. And he's just continued to ball from there. The Slaughter are actually 6-6 and 14 now, able to pick himself up a solo kill on the Bounty, deal with the bottom lane, pushing in, and with 3 heroes on the sideline, they're going to at least look to poke at base here. Lincoln's going to get popped on King Tekka, and that'll force him out. This does perhaps give them a window to look at Roche, but Roche minimum spawn is 3 minutes away. So we'll see both teams more than likely doing that dance relatively shortly.
Soku going to die before any of that. Did get Infernal Bladed out of his TP, kind of unfortunate for the Lich, but again, it seems like every single time it's the Lich to fall at very small cost to his allies. Oh, there is a gem here, and again the Doom wanders into the wrong neighborhood, a double damage troll neighborhood, and that is not a pleasant place to live. And with this double damage, Troll Warlord has to be careful not to feel too overconfident. Despite having taken down that Doom, is not invulnerable. Leo Style has no RP. They will deploy the circle just to give them a little bit of safety, and it looks like that should just about... No, Tekka's going in, man. Tekka wants everybody. This guy's bloodthirsty. He will back off, and with the Wukong command fading, it looks like the retreat should be clean on the vast majority of these heroes, though the Troll Warlord is still tracked. He has a lot of backup. Wu is okay. That is not the relocate. No, that is not okay, Wu. That is definitely not okay. Atun is charging in kind of by himself. There is not going to be enough mana for an RP, though the Mag does have Yules and Arcanes. Still, he is just short of that. Now he does have it. But 2 racks now versus the 1 as Sacred, mostly King Tekka, is just going off with the Blink, Crush, Corrosive Haze. They're going to instead go for the Queen of Pain. Perma Bash straight to death. Oh, Matthew is also going to go down for this. Now we'll disarm King Tekka, but here comes the RP. Lands onto 2, and here comes the Slaughter. There goes the Bounty Hunter. There goes the Huskar. Well, Hurricane Pike is going to jump right back into his own demise. Split up and farm? I don't think so. It's time to go onto the bottom lane and look to end this game, because I think Sacred may have just done it. 70 seconds, no Huskar. Doom will jump in, will cast his ultimate onto the Troll Warlord, and then straight die. GG is called.
Deny him. Deny him, guys. Come on, this is South American Dota.
I mean, it's any Dota. You kill your ally if you can.
There's got to be very few teams other than these South American ones that are more fun to watch as far as chat goes. Virtus Pro sticks out, but aside from them, that was some good stuff. Unfortunate relocate there. I'm totally for that play, as you know, the Trolls tracked up, so were a couple of his allies, and his BKB was down. You know that they were down 1 hero as well with the Lich in base, so unfortunate that they don't get anything on the back end of losing their racks there, top lane, and yeah, it just kind of sealed the game for them. But hey, I guess, you know, with a Troll Warlord with Empower as farmed as he was, all it takes is that 1 RP up by the Radiant Ancients there to turn the tides of the game heavily.
Sometimes you just need your Magnus to start playing. Up till that point, so when they were losing racks, Magnus was not skewering people, not RPing people, at least not enough. Lands a couple of sick RPs, and all of a sudden Sacred are right back in the driver's seat. Of course, Tekka, the driving force in this game, is it can be very difficult to deal with, as the Troll will give Sacred a victory here, and they will advance to phase 2, which essentially means that we're going to have 2 best of 3s and then a best of 5 left to see who qualifies for the summit from the SA region. Infamous versus Pain, and SG Esports now versus Sacred will be happening tomorrow. We are done, though, for right now, guys. All those games will be happening tomorrow. If you enjoyed the broadcast, well, be sure to follow the channel. I mean, obviously you are already, but you can also follow us on Twitter at Mike Loris for myself, for my co-caster at MRP Dota. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time.